I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. Don Corleone. Passion St. Charles and her girlfriend Treasure Langford have always had the closest bond. From best friends to lovers, they've settled into a comfortable, loving, and fulfilling relationship. When they decided to add a little spice to their already flourishing sex life, the last thing they were expecting was for a man to drop into their lap so soon. The moment Mason Collins walked into Treasure's tattoo parlor, sparks fly. He's immediately enamored with the tattooed beauty. Little does he know she has a plan of her own for him. When he asks her out to dinner, she hits him with a proposition, a naughty offer that includes pleasure for her, passion, and of course Mason himself. The trio embark on an erotic journey to mind blowing climaxes. Will Mason leave passion and treasure less than satisfied, or will he rise to the occasion? Pun intended. We have two best friends slash girlfriends, Passion and Treasure, who have been together in a relationship for a very long time. Occasionally, they invite men into the bedroom with them, and that's it. It's just like, we want to have fun with you, and when we're done, thank you, your services are no longer needed. And it's about that time where they're ready to have fun with someone again. And so we have Treasure, who is a tattoo artist. She owns her own shop. And Passion is a hairstylist who is currently working with her brother, but she's looking to open her own shop pretty soon. So she's working towards that. So tattoo Lord Treasure is going to her tattoo shop where she has an appointment with a man who is described as someone who will leave you speechless. That's how fine he is. And she's very attracted to him. And he also likes what he sees, so they're flirting back and forth in the during the tattoo appointment. And he asks her out on a date. And they exchange numbers, she accepts, and she goes home to her girlfriend and says, I think I found the perfect person for us. He already asked me out, he's fine as hell, and when I go out on the date, I'm gonna, proposition him. So she shows Passion a picture of him, like, ooh, this him texting me right now or calling me. And Passion is all for it because, like I said, this is something that they do. So when they go out on a date, Mason is pulling out all the stops because he's really attracted to her. And so, let me back up. Before the date, he goes to get a haircut because he want to look good. And of course, who's there to cut his hair but Miss Passion? Now, Passion has seen him, so she quote unquote knows him, but he don't know her. And he looking at her like, "Ooh, if this thing don't work out with Treasure, I know where I'm coming back to and who I'm gonna be trying to holler at." So, and she throws little windows out there that got him looking at her like, what's that supposed to mean? What you mean by that? And so they go, Treasure and Mason go out on their date, and it's great, and she tells him, I have a girlfriend, but this is what we do, and this is what we want to do with you. Like, we have fun from time to time, and the first night you're going to spend with me, the next night you're going to spend with her, and then the third night is going to be all of us together. And so he tells her as well, I'm not looking to date nobody. I just want to have fun. So whatever y'all trying to do, you know, I'm with it for the time being, which is great because that's what they're looking for. So when Treasure goes home, she tells her it was great. We had such a nice conversation and the vibe is great. So I'm looking forward to this. And, they have open communication like, how do you feel about this? You sure you okay with this? And it's cool. It's just like I said, they both know what they want, they're open to it, and it's great. So it's time for her first Treasure solo night with him. She packed a overnight bag and he sends a car for her. And when she gets there, it's all set up and it's great. Like, they have If you're new to my podcast and this just might be your first episode, I do not discuss sex scenes. You can go read it if you want to, but just let me tell you, it was great. It was real great, and I really enjoyed it. So they have sex, and they go all night. She keeping up with him. He thinking he gonna tire her out. She's like, "No, what you got, Playboy? I'm here right with you." And so then he talks to, because it's like the next day she goes home, and then later on that night he talks to Passion on the phone, and they flirting back and forth, and he like, you just better be ready for me, whoop de whoop, whatever. And when she shows up to his house, because Treasure packed her bag for her, like, you're gonna have a good time because I had a great time. They kissed. And when he sees her, he's like, "Oh, you from the barbershop. So that's why you was saying what you was saying to me." And she's like, "Yeah, of course. That's exactly why." And so, they have a good time, and their date is a little different because he like they have conversation, and not to say he didn't have conversation with Trevor, Lord, Treasure, but it was different this time around with Passion. It's just like, what do you want to do in life? Like, what what's up? And the reason why it was different, because although they're both femme presenting women, um Passion was said to be the more dominant one out of their relationship. And so Mason basically said, she gonna cut all that out and break all that down for me. And so at their date, that's kind of what that was kind of him like telling her, you ain't got to do that with me, or don't do that with me. More so, like, calm all that down. And come to find out, our girl Passion is a writer. She writes short stories, she writes poems, and he asks her, read me something, let me hear something. And she's like, "Oh no, I don't let nobody hear, like nothing like that. This is for me and me alone." And once again, he's like, "You ain't got to play that tough role with me. Let me hear something." So she actually reads him a short story, and he's like, "That's beautiful. You should look into writing more, or like publishing or something like that." And so, you know, that made her feel good, because it's like, this ain't all about sex. He's actually like speaking to her mind and pouring into her a little bit. So then they have sex, and it's like after the first round, Passion was done for. A girl laid out. She kind of slept a little bit. He called Treasure, talking shit like, "Your girl was talking all that shit on the phone, and where her ass laid out in the bed." And Treasure's like, "I know she ain't, not all the shit she be talking." And what she said, so, and then he also gotta open his mouth. I'm like, "Damn, nigga, you couldn't keep that to yourself?" And she read some of her work for me. And Treasure felt the way, and I felt hurt. Because it's like, no, she didn't. The bitch won't even read nothing to me, but she read it to you. And it's like, okay, cool, cool, whatever. He like, she's like, "I know you ain't gonna let her sleep on her." He like, "Nah. As soon as I wrap up the phone with you, I'm going back in there. We're gonna start all over." And that's exactly what happened. So the next morning, I think he cooked her breakfast, walked her down to the car, opened the door for her, and they, like, shared a kiss and left. And so when she gets home, Treasure is like, "Miss Tough Girl, all that shit you was talking and you couldn't keep up. And then what's this I hear about you reading him some of your work? I've been begging you to read me some of your work and you didn't do it." And I kind of felt the way of that being my thought as well. Like, damn, we are in an actual relationship. We've been in a relationship, and I asked to read your work, to support you, and you wouldn't do it. And her only response to that is that it was different. And I wanted more of an explanation for that. I'm like, what do you mean it's different? Because it ain't like I would, have you read your work and then talk shit about it. It's just like, what does that mean that it's different? I want an explanation for that. And so they're talking about Mason, and it's just like, I like him. But they still got the one night where it's gonna be all three of them together. So they like, let's wait and see how that goes. And then, we'll talk about if we actually want to keep him around. Like, of course he's not gonna be a part of their relationship, but he's just somebody to keep on hold if they ever want to participate in threesomes or in one-on-ones, as long as it's discussed in the relationship. So now it's time for the night of all of them together. They get there, they roll up some blunts, they smoking, they drinking, Mason cooking for them, like basically catering to them. And it's great. Like they all vibe well together. And it's a really good night. Oh, I'm missing a part. So at some point before they all met up for the third date, Mason said something about wanting to see them together or something like that. And so one night, I think Passion gave Treasure a massage, and she pulled out the strap, get her um like she got her in the mirror and she looking at her face. And then it's like when it's over, you hear a voice, and she looks to see wherever Passion has her phone set up, because Passion has Mason on FaceTime to watch them, and she's like, I know you didn't, let him see us. And Passion is like, why not? He said he wanted to see, so I let him see. And so then we get to the date of them all being together. And, Mason is just, he's catering to them. It's cute. It's a vibe. And when they all get together, that's great too. It's just like, it's almost like it's meant to be. So then they leave that. And the next morning, Mason is kind of like, where does this leave us? And I think it was Treasure. She was like, I don't know, we might keep you around, maybe not, but we'll think about it. And so then they go home, and it's just like, wow, I like him. I like him too. The conversation is great. Like, did we just find ourselves a man? And Treasure's like, fuck, I think we did. And so, Mason calls them on. I think he calls Treasure, but she put it on speaker. So he's like, what's up? Did I pass the audition? And she's like, I don't know. We might have to do it one more time just to see. And he sent flowers to both of their jobs. And everybody like, hold the hell on. What's going on here? Now, the people at Treasure's tattoo shop, they know how they get down. So that's not a surprise. And actually, the secretary, she be wanting to know all the details. She's like, girl, I'm trying to live vicariously through you. Tell me how it went. Did y'all have fun? What was it like? And when Passion gets the flowers at her job, or at her brother's, because it was her brother's barbershop, he's like, who's sending you flowers? I'm going to tell Treasure. And he knows Mason. But she didn't say who it was. She just like, mind your business. Don't worry about it. And it's so funny because actually, like, all the guys get together one night to meet up to go drink. And one of the guys mentioned, like, what I wouldn't give to be with Treasure and Passion. Like, I know it's good. I do da 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 da. And Mason just over there grinning, ain't saying nothing. And everybody looking at him like, what you smiling for? He like, nothing. I ain't saying nothing. They're like, oh, man, come on, not you. They let you in. It's just like, he like, yeah. And they're like, nigga, what you do? He's like, I got it like that. Like, nigga, don't be hating on a pimp. The fuck you mean? I got it like that. That's how it's me. Don't worry about it. And so after the fact, you have treasure and pleasure, Lord. Treasure and passion. My God. They decide they're gonna keep him around. It's just like, it's a casual thing. They're not putting no labels on it. It's just like, but you basically he they third. You want to look at it like that. And so what Mason, he puts together the furniture for Passion Salon. And what did he do for Treasure? And I hate to say it like that, but it was just like he poured into the relationship. So he was a good addition to the relationship. And that's where it is. Just them on good terms, everything flowing how it should be. And Kimberly already said this ain't no novel, so don't ask her to make it into one, because the answer is no. But damn, I wish it was one. I love reading about poly relationships. The thing that sucks though, I have just never read about one that has lasted for a long time. You know, like that actually makes it 20, 30 years. At the most, it's like they'll make it like four. Shit, has it even been four? I give it like a year, maybe two at the most, and then something about the relationship don't work, and either the main couple stays together or everybody breaks up and nobody's together. Or it was one YouTube couple where they broke up, but the girls stayed together. Like the girls stayed in a relationship, and the guy, I don't know where he at now, because I don't think he on YouTube or on TikTok. I saw the girls on TikTok, um, which was so funny to me because everybody swore, like watching their videos and stuff, because they was that type of couple, the corny prank videos and all that type of stuff. They swore that them girls hated each other, but they do that with every poly couple. It's like them girls don't really like each other. Them girls, they don't want to be together. They just doing this because they don't want to let that man go. And it's like, but they the ones that ended up in a relationship, like another relationship. But anyway, that's it. That's all. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace and blessings, my beautiful people.